Hello everyone, welcome to Chelsea Sport Focus. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of breaking news. Let's get started.
Since the Blueco takeover in 2022, Chelsea have embarked on one of the most aggressive spending sprees in football history. With more than £1.5 billion invested across multiple transfer windows, the new ownership set out to rebuild the squad through youth, long-term contracts and perceived elite potential. While some signings have shown promise, others have failed spectacularly to justify their price tags, expectations, or roles at Stamford Bridge. Evaluating performance, availability, impact, and value for money, several acquisitions stand out as major disappointments. Leslie Ugochukwu arrived from Rennes with a reputation as a physically dominant midfielder, capable of developing into a long-term option. However, his Chelsea career never truly took off. Limited opportunities, mixed performances, and a lack of tactical clarity saw him make just 15 appearances before being moved on. Although the club managed to recoup a small profit, his spell highlighted a recurring issue under Blueco: buying potential without a clear pathway to success. Romeo Lavia's case is far more frustrating. Signed for a hefty fee from Southampton after a fierce bidding war, the Belgian midfielder was expected to anchor Chelsea's midfield for years. Instead, injuries have defined his time at the club. He has struggled to stay fit long enough to build rhythm, never completing a full match. While his talent is not in doubt, availability is a key metric. And so far, Lavia's contribution has been minimal. João Felix is another example of talent failing to translate into sustained influence. Chelsea invested in him twice, initially on loan and later permanently, hoping his flair and creativity would spark their attack. Despite moments of brilliance and some important goals, Felix never imposed himself consistently. His eventual sale to Al Nassr allowed Chelsea to recover part of their investment, but overall, the experiment fell short of expectations. Raheem Sterling was the first major signing of the Blueco era and symbolised a shift toward established Premier League experience. While his numbers were not disastrous, his inconsistency and inability to lead a young squad were glaring. A loan spell at Arsenal did little to revive his reputation, and Sterling's Chelsea career ultimately felt underwhelming given his pedigree and salary. Axel Disasi arrived from Monaco as a physically imposing defender, expected to bring stability. After a promising start, his form dipped, and he gradually lost trust within the coaching setup. Becoming part of the so-called bomb squad reflected how quickly he fell out of favour, turning what seemed like a solid acquisition into a costly misstep. Kalidou Koulibaly's signing carried enormous expectations. A proven elite defender from Napoli, he was meant to bring leadership and authority to Chelsea's backline. Instead, his single season was riddled with adaptation issues, uneven performances, and tactical mismatches. His swift departure underscored how poorly the move worked for both player and club. Christopher Nkunku was supposed to be transformative. Signed as one of Europe's most productive attackers, he arrived with the reputation of being a cornerstone player. Injuries disrupted his momentum from the start, and when fit, he struggled to consistently replicate his Leipzig form. 6 league goals in 38 appearances was far below expectations, and his eventual sale to AC Milan at a loss cemented his status as a disappointment. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's Chelsea stint was brief, but painful. Once a prolific goalscorer, he failed to rediscover that edge in London. 3 goals in 21 appearances and exclusion from the Champions League knockout squad symbolised a move that never made sense sporting-wise. David Washington represented Blueco's high-risk youth strategy. Handed a long-term contract as a teenage prospect, he barely featured before being loaned back to Santos. With almost no impact at senior level, the move looks premature and poorly planned. At the top of the list sits Mykhailo Mudryk. Signed for an enormous fee after Chelsea hijacked Arsenal's pursuit, Mudryk became a symbol of excess and gamble-driven recruitment. Despite flashes of pace and skill, his performances were wildly inconsistent. A suspension following a positive doping test in late 2024 further derailed his progress. Given the scale of the investment, Mudryk's return has been deeply disappointing both on and off the pitch. Together, these signings paint a clear picture of the risks Chelsea took under Blueco. Massive spending alone does not guarantee success, and without balance, patience, and structure, even the most expensive rebuild can falter. Chelsea appear to have been handed a significant boost in their pursuit of Jeremy Jacquet as the January transfer window enters its final hours, with developments elsewhere potentially clearing the path for the Blues to move decisively. With the deadline set for Monday at 7 p.m, Chelsea's focus has narrowed sharply, and all signs point toward one priority target. Liam Rosenior has made it clear behind the scenes that reinforcing the centre-back position is essential if Chelsea are to sustain their momentum through the second half of the season. Rennes defender Jeremy Jacquet has emerged as the club's top choice, with the 20-year-old viewed as a perfect fit for Chelsea's recruitment model. Young, technically strong, and already tested at a high level in League One, Jacquet is seen as a player who can develop rapidly while also retaining significant resale value. Rennes, however, have shown little interest in making the deal easy. The French club have been determined to keep hold of one of their standout performers, particularly with the season still delicately poised. Their stance has been firm, with a reported asking price of around £60 million and a preference to delay any sale until the summer. Despite this, Chelsea have remained engaged, encouraged by the belief that Jacquet himself is open to the move. Fabrizio Romano recently confirmed that Chelsea and Liverpool were both in talks with Rennes and the players' representatives, while Bayern Munich were considered unlikely contenders. Romano also suggested Rennes would ideally only sanction a transfer effective from July 2026, underlining how difficult negotiations have been. Still, Chelsea have continued to position themselves patiently, hoping circumstances would tilt in their favour. Those circumstances may now be emerging. Liverpool manager Arne Slot added fuel to the transfer speculation with comments that hinted at late movement in the market, but a fresh update suggests the Merseyside club may be shifting their focus elsewhere. Romano has revealed that Liverpool are now in club-to-club negotiations to sign Lucharel Geertruida, a defender Slot knows well from his time at Feyenoord. Geertruida is currently on loan at Sunderland, where he has made 17 league appearances this season. Any move would require Liverpool to compensate Sunderland for ending the loan early, in addition to negotiating a fee with Feyenoord. The Netherlands international has already earned 19 senior caps, making him a more experienced but also more complicated acquisition. Liverpool's pursuit of Geertruida could prove pivotal for Chelsea. If Liverpool divert their resources and attention towards securing that deal, it would effectively leave Chelsea with a clearer run at Jacquet. With Bayern Munich unlikely to push forward and Rennes aware of the player's desire to take the next step, Chelsea's negotiating position could quietly strengthen.